For the past 11 years, the Calentita Food Festival has been bringing together the best of Gibraltar's diverse culinary backgrounds, offering a multicultural menu that allows people from all backgrounds to savour a wide array of dishes from all over the planet. As a festival, it offers a wonderful day out, filled with music and tasty treats, a sensational event that leaves our bellies and hearts full of joy. But there's a deeper meaning to Calentita, one which seeks to promote a better understanding of what we eat and the impact our diets have on the wider world. The Calentita Press offers us an insight into the new progressive views on food and on the ethical implications our appetites have on the planet.
Here we are about to enter Casement Square, where Calentita 2017 is about to kick off. Tonight, Cayan Lopez, the mayoress, will be calling the crowds and ringing the bell to declare the event open. Calentita now in its 11th edition, Gibraltar's food festival, and we ourselves are going to go into Casement and visit the different stalls to discover the different flavours that make up Gibraltar.
I now declare Calentita Night 2017 officially open.
So here we are at the Juries and Irish stall, where we've got quite a feature that's been attracting quite a bit of attention. We got the hog roast, and here with us is Dominic Peñalver of the Hunter Group, who can tell us a bit about this. Hi Dominic, the hog roast, a tradition that goes back millennia and is present in many cultures. And you guys, I believe, introduced this into Gibraltar a number of years ago.
Yeah, well actually we went live for the first time on St. Patrick's Day this year, and it was an absolute sellout. And so we thought we'd bring it to Calentita this year and see how we got on. We got the pigs from our local butcher, who sourced all our stuff locally, and he got it for us, and we got four half pigs on the go today.
4 half pigs, yeah?
Yeah, so let's see how it goes. So 2 full pigs, yeah.
I can see people lining up already, so, and you know, it is quite a spectacle just watching it.
Yeah, well, we've been waiting for the dong to go on so we can start selling. We've had people coming up from this afternoon, so we started cooking at, I believe it was 11 o'clock this morning. We started cooking the hog roast, and well, they're all there now. We've got another one in the oven ready to go on when this runs out.
Brilliant. Maybe we can give it a try?
Of course you can.
Yeah? So bueno.
I'd like to say I cooked it myself, but I did it.
Qué bueno. I think we're going to stay here a while.
Yes,
And
so-
tomorrow I'm not going to go down the beach.
No.
So Ali, the Moroccan community, last year you were largely missed by everyone. You weren't here at Calentita, and this year you made a comeback.
Yeah, welcome, because last year it's been first of beginning of Ramadan. For that is so a little bit hard for us, but now it's the middle of Ramadan. Today is the 15th days of Ramadan. Happy Ramadan for all the Muslims in Gibraltar and the Muslims in the world. And we're here again this year to celebrate a festival of food with our Gibraltarian community. We have a delicious pinchitos, chicken, beef and lamb. Also we have a mixed Moroccan sweet, harira and mint tea.
And a very triumphant return. I think you're possibly the one with the largest queue so far.
Every year we have the same. Thank you very much for that. And phone case, I'm going to give you to try, because all the years I give for the cameraman.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy. And one for the cameraman as well. Hi.
Lovely. Thank you very much. So here we are down at the hot dog stall, which is being manned by the Gibraltar Youth Choir. And we got Leon and Bella. And these guys are trying to raise funds for an event that Gibraltar Youth Choir is planning, yeah?
To hopefully go away in 2018 to South Africa if we can, and that's why we're here to raise funds.
Brilliant. And you're also part of the choir, Bella?
Yeah.
How long have you been part of the choir for?
2 years.
And how old are you?
10.
10. And you enjoy the choir?
Yeah.
And you're hoping to raise a lot of money?
Yeah.
Yeah? Guys, have a good night, and I hope you manage to raise funds
very
and
much.
go away to South Africa and enjoy it, yeah?
Hopefully, thank you.
Word of mouth has been the engine behind Calentita for the past 11 years. I meet up with Owen Smith, who tells me the backstory. So Owen, Calentita now in its 11th edition. Can you tell us what Calentita is really all about and how the idea originated?
Well, we started back in 2007, and at the time what happened is that the Spring Festival was growing, and Fabian Venent, who was then the Minister for Culture, wanted something to end the Spring Festival with a bit of a bang. He approached various people and said, can anybody come up with an idea of how we can end the Spring Festival? And Calentita was the idea that we came up with. Calentita is supposed to be, and is, I think, a festival of food, but it's also about Gibraltar and celebrating all the different facets of Gibraltarian community and bringing people together and sharing a little bit of ourselves with each other.
And over the years, the festival has grown from a few stalls to, I think, in the last one you had nearly 50.
Like you said, every year we have something different and we grow a bit more, and that really is a testament to all the different groups that take part in the festival. It's a huge amount of work to take part. Many people are, not professional caterers, or they're raising money for charity or good causes, and so really the success is thanks in a large part to all those different people, some of whom have taken part every single year without fail.
And over the last 11 years, Calentita growing to the point where you outgrew your original home of Casement Square, and now you've actually grown out and spilt out onto Marketplace as well.
That's right, yeah.
What do you think makes Calentita so successful? Why do people continue going to Calentita year on year after?
Well, I think what we try to do is we try to create an event which does innovate from year to year. We always try to introduce new things. And we're always listening to what people say about the event and trying to improve it. So last year, really our big improvement last year was to actually spread it out more than perhaps the tent space required. And the result of that was an event that was much easier to walk around. It had a calmer feel to it. And I think that was very successful. So we're going to repeat that this year. But I think the reason that it's successful in the way that it has been is because I think people they see a bit of themselves in it. I mean, I think we should be proud of what we have in Gibraltar, of a community that lives so cohesively and happily alongside each other. And it's not a surprise, I think, that people want to celebrate that. And I think it's also successful because it's an event which does invite people who are in Gibraltar. Maybe they've been here for generations, and maybe they've been here for 2 years or a year or 6 months, but it invites them to be part of Gibraltar as well.
And over the years, Calentita, like you have just pointed out, a showcase for what Gibraltar is all about, a representation of the people of Gibraltar. But over the years as well, Calentita has sort of evolved from representing just the ethnicities, the faiths that cohabitate in Gibraltar, to actually showcasing different subgroups and lifestyles as well.
That's right, and I think it's going to be particularly true this year because, as you've said, traditionally, Calentita, we focused on having Moroccan food or Indian food to choose, two of the biggest and obvious sort of different diets that we have in Gibraltar. And increasingly, we've seen people wanting to showcase things that they're doing, which may not be have a geographic or national origin. As you've said, we've had people making food which has a healthy inclination, and this year one of the things I've definitely noticed is an increase in the amount of people who want to offer vegan food. So we're going to have, we've had vegan food before, but this time we have a store which is not just dedicated to vegan food, but also dedicated to sort of vegan lifestyle as well. And that is quite interesting because I think it's something that is going on in Gibraltar, which across a whole spread of people, and for differing reasons. Some people are coming at it from an environmental point of view, some people coming at it from a health point of view, some people coming at it from a sort of trying to make a difference point of view, not wholly environmental maybe, but feeling that this is an ethical choice. Exactly.
And Calentita, obviously much more than a food festival, as you pointed out. Calentita also goes out of its way to educate, to heighten awareness to issues Gibraltar, and you've got a number of other important spin-offs which aid you in your mission to educate and raise awareness as well. I believe over the last few years you've had poster competitions, your logos, and you've got Calentita Press as well. They're all vehicles to heighten awareness and take the event that step further as well.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, we've been running a newspaper, I think, for about 5 or 6 years now, actually. We started off just doing an event program, and then we did an event program with a few articles in it, and then we grew that into being a full-blown newspaper. And like you said, the idea is to try and set out, a slightly more in-depth view of what we're trying to do. So we do concentrate on some of the environmental policies that the event has and trying to explain what we're doing and why we're doing it. We also try to bring to people's attention the things that we're trying to celebrate, because sometimes it is easy to go down, just have a great night and get lost, get sort of carried away when, and we like to try and reinforce what we're doing at the festival in our print.
So here we are down at the Elliot O'Callaghan stall with someone very known to the Gibraltarian public. Matt.
I've got a special secreto chicken with lentils, cumin and cinnamon. I've called it a secreto as a spin on the traditional pork cut. So it's basically bone, legged and thigh that's been marinated in tandoori secret seasoning. I've also got a poke, which is a new trend that's meant to be coming for this year. And it's a Hawaiian-inspired kind of sushi-style rice with chopped fish, fresh vegetables, nice fresh summery flavours. So I thought I'd give it a try tonight for then running in the hotel next week, hopefully.
Brilliant.
And I've also got the standard Elliot burger that I'm serving every day in the hotel anyway.
Quite a variety of foods. Obviously all this on offer at the hotel. A few traditional foods, a few modern foods, like you rightly pointed out. I'm a Gibraltarian boy through and through. I got to try them in Bejas, man. I've had my eye on them since I saw them. Yeah?
For sure.
Brilliant, yeah?
Do it.
Can we? Yeah?
Enjoy.
May we?
Enjoy.
Looking forward to this. This looks really awesome.
Good.
Lovely, man. Lovely. Las cosas que hace uno por la televisión, más fácil. So here we are in the Gibraltarian tent. It's been quite an adventure just to come in. We've got quite a few crowds gathering outside, all ready to buy up their sweets. How popular are they?
Oh, very popular every year. I think we get like the people who are from Gibraltar who know what the desserts are like, and they're like old favorites. And then we have all the people, the tourists who've never been to the Calentita before, and they're really, really interested in knowing all the things that we have.
Quite a few staple Gibraltarian sweet dishes there.
Yeah, so we've got like pudín de pan, torrijas, tortilla de pasas, mantecados, roquita fritas, and then we've branched out in the past couple of years to things that have become new traditional favorites like banoffee pie and the mint arrow desserts as well.
Banoffee pie now being very Gibraltarian, I think.
I think so. It may become a national dessert. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
I think so. What would you say is the most popular?
Probably
the bestseller.
The banoffies sell very well, and the torrijas and tortillas de pasas sell very well as well.
And I've heard a whisper. I've heard your sweets here are so popular that you actually get people asking for them to take down the beach the next day.
Yeah, basically, well, I think it's more that people, they try the savory first. So they tend to come to us last, and then they're not so hungry. So we say, well, you know, take it for tomorrow para la playa, you know? And it's become a bit of a thing. So now we've got takeaway boxes, and if people want to do that, then that's great.
I was about to say, I spotted them.
Yeah.
And so very popular then.
I think so, yeah. I mean, we love doing it. We do it for charity. So
Tell us a bit about that.
So we always donate all our proceeds, half to RIC, Research into Childhood Cancer, and half to Breast Cancer Support Gibraltar.
Brilliant. So it is important that the community come here, buy their sweets, get a treat themselves, and they get to help the community as well, and these important charities.
Yeah, definitely. And we enjoy doing it. I think we're part of the furniture really now, and yeah, it's really great to be part of such a lovely community event.
And you're very established, like you say, you've been here a number of years now, enjoying every year and raising funds.
Yeah.
And the important thing now as well, can we get to try something from the store, yeah?
What would you like to try?
Whatever you offer me.
Would you like to try the torrijas?
Yeah, brilliant, yeah. Cheers. Very nice.
Good.
I've grown up on these as well. Voy a hacer la burra otra vez. Ya la gracia, no, ya la gracia. Ow. Yeah, don't worry. No, you did.
And with Calentita also being all about our identity, our culture, our society, it's only natural that it inspires poetry.
Y la abuela decía, calentita la del case me. Pregúntale a Brian, ¿por qué no se callan? Porque quieren calentita con patata frita. Y un cari calentito como el sol del cuari. Hoy no quieren ni pescadito, ni t-shirt, ni sari. Quieren calentita como Dios manda. Aceite, pimienta, harina, garbanzo y sal. No le dé más vuelta a la comanda, encima te vaya a salir mal. Que sean generosos con las porciones, que aquí en el Case Me la calentita no se vende por raciones. Un pedacito bueno, ni duro, ni blando, ni cuajadito, ni seco. Que aquí va a topar charity, te lo prometo, que se callen ya por Santa Rita. Cómprate una calentita y serás por un día llanito completo.
The last few years have seen a rise of new eating trends. People are opting for high-protein diets, low-sugar plans, paleo lifestyles. There's so many. Today I'm going to meet a flexitarian. I wonder what all that is about.
Yeah, and with greater access to information comes a heightened education, and with heightened education comes the desire and the want to take control of one's life choices. Over the last few years, more and more people are adopting their eating habits, not just to fulfill nutritional requirements, but also to have them, complement and befit their ethics and other personal makeup. What do you class yourself as?
A term that I've recently been introduced to is that of a flexitarian. It's the first step towards removing yourself from eating meat, which a lot of people do. I mean, you'll get vegans who eat no animal products whatsoever, vegetarians who eat no animals, pescatarians, which are all the rage these days as well, will only eat fish, sea creatures, and flexitarians haven't quite taken the plunge. Flexitarians will moderate the amount of meat that they eat. They'll eat slightly less, alternate some meat meals with alternatives, or just miss out altogether.
So people might actually think, and I think it's for the uninitiated and for people like myself who don't know much about flexitarianism, it sounds like it's maybe a vegetarian who cheats.
You could see
surely
that
it's
way.
more than that, yeah?
We will get, I think a vegetarian who cheats occasionally, of which there are several as well. still get most of the benefits of being a vegetarian. And that's what the flexitarian, I'm not sure if you'd call it a movement, but that's what you get from that as well. It's not a black and white issue. It's not a case of eating or not eating meat. If you moderate what you eat, then you get some of the benefits of doing so and some of the ethical ramifications that avoiding meat also entail. So.
And obviously the ethics behind this prompted you to start the flexitarian diet. How did it all begin? What actually prompted you and really stirred you to take it up and move away from meat?
I mean, I think we have it very, very good in Gibraltar. I think there's something of an obligation to start looking out beyond just ourselves, our own community. I think we need to extend the protection that we offer those in our community to animals as well. The meat industry, the dairy industry, and any industry which deals with animals, they don't offer this sort of protection. They look to maximize profit, they look to maximize gain. I think it's entirely unfair to force this upon the animals when there's no need to it other than for profits. Other than that, there's the environmental impact that the amount of meat we consume is having on the planet, because it's not just a case of the animals suffering, it's also a case of the planet suffering in that we take up huge amount of land, we take up huge amounts of resources, and the less meat we consume, the less we bring to our tables, the better in that general respect.
And if I may, playing a bit of devil's advocate here, there are many out there who might be watching who would argue, well, animals are here for a reason as well, and we do have to eat. Would eating meat to a degree be permissible, or do you advocate the complete elimination of meat eating?
It would be very hypocritical of me to do so. The fact of the matter is that I don't see eating meat as being the evil that vegetarians and vegans might. To be honest, if I know that an animal has had a fairly happy life before it gets to my plate, I don't have too many qualms about eating it. And we're fortunate in that in Spain, where I think a lot of our produce comes from, pork in particular, the infrastructure seems to be such that they don't suffer, they don't subject the pigs and what pork comes from to the same sort of cruelty that we see in factories in perhaps the UK and in America. That being said, there is plenty of choice at the moment in the market, and you can and should, I feel, go out of the way when you can to choose organic food. When you go to restaurants, you should ask the people about it, ask the establishment you're at and those serving you food, where the food comes from, where the chickens come from, where the beef comes from. And it's all about moderation, I feel. The fact of the matter is that 50 years ago, if you ask your parents, your grandparents, you ask someone of an older generation how much meat they used to eat, they'll tell you, I'm sure, that they used to eat it a few times a week. They used to eat maybe a roast chicken on Sundays. They used to have some beef once or twice a week. It was never the amount that we eat nowadays.
But we do live in an era of excesses nowadays, don't we?
We do, and that's why we have to rein it in somewhat. But it's very much connected to the amount we eat, the cruelty that they're subjected to, because it costs more for someone who produces meat to treat their animals fairly and properly. But it's cheaper for them to cram them all into an uninhabitable place, or what should be uninhabitable, and for them to suffer every second of their lives until they reach us. If we ate less, I think that the animals could have a far better quality of life.
So you don't say complete no to meat eating. You'd be happy with, the industry, the meat producing industry, having better controls that would be more acceptable, that would be more humane towards the animal.
Exactly right. I know there may be several vegans and vegetarians that are objecting to what I'm saying at the moment, but it's my personal view, and I think it's much more realistic for the majority of the population to lean more towards what I'm saying. I think it's very doable for everyone to be a bit more moderate in what they consume.
And as you described earlier, flexitarian is actually more than a vegetarian who cheats, and that was a bit of a joke. You actually are moving towards eliminating meat as much as you can, and that is the norm, I believe, as well, yeah?
Yeah, and the thing is,
how hard are you finding it?
Sorry, I was about to preempt your question. It's so much easier these days than it used to be. There's so much in the way of meat alternatives. There's so much, Quorn, Tivoli. There are several brands now that offer, and frankly, some of the alternatives to processed meat in particular, I just find are better than the real thing. Corn mince in particular, I find to be far superior to the real thing, to beef mince. And you can find all sorts these days: frankfurters, chorizo, chicken nuggets.
And nutritionally?
Nutritionally, they're similar enough that you're not going to be missing out.
Okay.
It's not a case which I know a lot of people are very aware of their macros and they need to get the protein, carbs and fat ratios right. You can have a very healthy diet if you're working out or if you're playing sports, and it can consist, at least in parts, of these meat alternatives. So that's not an issue anymore.
Interesting that you mentioned, because as you know, you're a young person yourself. The young generation in Gibraltar is very fitness inclined, and we do see a lot of people now controlling their macros and weighing their foods and trying to get the right amounts and grams in. As a flexitarian, you work out yourself. You were mentioning you're not missing out on anything.
Absolutely not. Even if the majority still comes from your chicken and your tuna, which are the staple for a lot of people looking for a quick protein fix, you can still supplement that with having 30-40% of your meals come from corn, come from meat alternatives, and coming from the protein powders, which the majority of us are having anyway. So that's no reason, no obstacle between yourself and the flexitarian lifestyle.
So no danger to losing any gains there. Yeah?
Absolutely not.
And in terms of sourcing the appropriate foods for flexitarianism locally, do you find this hard, or do you find they're readily available in Gibraltar?
Again, it's easier than it ever has been, and it's getting better. And the fact of the matter is that the power lies with the consumer these days. If we pressure the suppliers to have an alternative, to have an option for those who want organic meat, for those who want free-range produce, then they will provide it. Even if they do the right thing for the wrong reasons, even if they're not doing it out of the goodness of their hearts and they're doing it because they see an opportunity to make money, it is still better than what we currently have. So I encourage everyone to talk to your supplier, talk to your supermarket retailers and all sorts, and ask them about it.
And for anyone who might be watching, who might be thinking, well, I might give that a try, how do you recommend they start?
Try the alternatives first. It's the easiest way to go. And as I said, I might not be able to do it without the alternatives. But if you go to Morrison's, if you go to Eroski and several other shops around Gibraltar, they've got quite a selection of alternatives to real meat, which sort of imitate and emulate the texture and the taste.
Yeah, the fake meat has a label nowadays, yeah?
And it's just, you might surprise yourself. It might surprise you how similar they are. Try a burger, try a hot dog, and see what you think.
That was quite interesting, actually. I'll have to take up Ian's recommendation and actually give fake meat a try.
So we're here at the Conscious Eating tent, and sorry,
Julianne.
So we're here at the Conscious Eating Centre, where Jess is going to tell us about this green initiative.
Yeah, well, it started the last few months. We've got together with the GHA and Thinking Green, the Department of the Environment, basically because, from a wildlife product perspective, we're trying to obviously preserve and conserve species that are in rainforests. So when you start looking deeper into rainforest destruction, you find out that actually the main culprit is meat and meat production. And as hard as that is to understand and to, for people to actually want to make the change, we have set this up because we think it's really important that people start to reduce the amount of meat that they're eating on a daily basis.
And this is your first year down at Calentita.
It is, yeah.
And obviously it's the first part of a program to raise awareness and create education within the community for people to have a healthier eating habits that might aid the environment. So what can you tell us about your food on offer then?
We decided to do Calentita because we thought it was important to sort of make it known and actually make really good vegan food for people to taste. We weren't going to go for sort of a vegan stew or an Indian dish, but we already have that in Gibraltar. There's things like that here. But one of the things that's happening around the world, especially in Europe, is that they're producing, or engineering, it's not a great word, but there's substitute meat in order to try and deal with this situation with excess meat consumption. So we basically found this vegetarian butcher, it's called. It was a German guy who was a butcher. Typical German, it's like he gives up meat and misses it. He gave it up during the foot and mouth crisis, and he missed the texture and the flavour. So he has made it his life's mission to create perfect tasting meat. And if you taste the skewers, they are absolutely amazing. They are chicken,
So here at Calentita with a purpose. May we judge ourselves?
Yes. Yes, you can. Do you want to?
Yeah, of course.
I'm feeling guilty.
Tell you what, it's my first taste of fake meat. It's not meat, but it's actually quite nice. It's actually quite nice. Yeah. So here we are. We got Pepe Rosado, someone very known in the community, someone who's chronicled Gibraltar's history for many years. I'm sure you have something to say about Calentita, Pepe.
Oh, I think it's fabulous. I was always looking for something like this to happen, and it's getting better and better. We're running out of space soon.
Yep.
We'll have to fill in the sea a bit more to have more room for Calentita.
And Pepe, if I may, a man who's obviously chronicled Gibraltar's history over the years.
Oh, no.
Yeah, come on. And you've obviously chronicled Gibraltarian identity, Calentita being that, and it's amazing to see the number of communities, subgroups, and that are represented over here tonight.
And not only the people now living here, which is quite a spread of different nationalities, but also I can see a lot of tourists are coming, so I think it's lovely.
Every year, organisers set out to find Gibraltar's best Calentita, but this year they've opted for something different. They decided to settle an age-old Gibraltar debate.
So Richard, Robert, you're regulars at Calentita. Every year you judge Calentita, but this year for a change, well, something else has been introduced.
Well, got me by surprise. I thought it was Calentita, and I took the first 2 bites. Y digo, pero esto no suena como Calentita.
Not just that, but if you remember last year, we tried to encourage as many people as possible to join the competition.
It was failing.
And I think we got 2 Calentitas, then I think we got a couple of tortacergas, then some people brought in some torrija. And that was very, very difficult to judge because how do you compare one thing to the other?
So they were random entry there.
Y tres japonesas.
So it was very, very difficult. So at least this year they've changed the theme. It's no longer Calentita. It's now torta patata.
Which is another staple, another icon in our diet, no? In a Gibraltarian, and now more so, I think, nearing the summer.
Indeed, it's typical beach food as we like to consider it.
It is. So what were you guys looking for in the torta patata?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, to be quite honest, I was looking for something a bit more gooey, slightly more runny.
Yeah.
But is that because they've been there and they've settled, or they've not been done right?
I'm not quite sure of if people cook this very, very early on in the day before bringing it down or not. But obviously everybody has their own personal preference with what they like in a torta patata. I personally like the center to be slightly gooey, but not necessarily too runny. And it's got to be one of these that's quite well seasoned. It's got to have flavor, and it can't just be a very, very plain affair, because everybody can make a very plain torta patata.
Did you feel that it needed a little bit of salt, a bit more? All of them needed a bit more
there
salt.
There was one that needed a lot more salt, and it needed a lot more of everything else.
Was that the one in the tin?
I'm not saying.
The one in the tin was very garlicky.
The one in the tin was one in a tin.
It wasn't made by a professional cook.
Garlicky. First time I hear garlic in a torta patata.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Yes. Unfortunately, it had garlic in a torta patata. But I suppose there might be some people that do have very, very tasty garlic torta patatas. It's just that this one wasn't one.
And we did have a good time.
Of course. And if I may, 2 questions. Torta patata. Does it have to be thick or thin?
Richard, what do you reckon?
I wouldn't not think, definitely not. But I can't be overfaced with food. It would have to be thin or medium, como tú quieras.
Pero no gorda.
A bit right, no gorda. A bit.
Whereas
right.
for me, it needs to be one that transports well. If it's a thin one, then I'm happy. But sometimes a very, very thick one can be too much. So it depends on what you want.
I think the classic question, torta patata, hot or cold?
Warm.
I was going to say warm.
Neither hot nor cold.
And in between
warm.
then. Pero a torta patata cold on the beach?
On the beach,
That's
Well,
lovely.
no, but remember that it's always warmed by the sun on the beach.
True,
yes.
true.
So it's never
Very valid
quite
point.
cold.
Very valid
So
point.
the last thing has to be Happy New Year.
But I must cast aside thoughts of cold torta patata and gallina empanada before I go on to talk to Ivan Hernandez and find out more about vegetarianism.
So Ivan, this year for Calentita Press, you've written a piece on vegetarianism. How long have you been a vegetarian yourself?
I've been a vegetarian for about 4 years, so it's not that long. I've enjoyed, changing my food habits. There's a lot of things that I've discovered as well.
And was it something you just decided to do overnight? Is it something you transitioned into?
No, I transitioned into it. It wasn't, something that one day I woke up and said, oh, I wanted to be a vegetarian. I slowly stopped eating a lot of different types of meat, mainly because I ended up with pets at home. I ended up with 2 rabbits, which I never really wanted, but I ended up with them anyway. And one day I'd finished eating a meal thinking it was chicken, and then after I'd eaten the meal, I thought I wasn't quite sure whether I'd eaten chicken or rabbit. And that made me feel bad because I thought, well, if I feel bad about eating a rabbit, which I have at home, they're cute, they're furry, why don't I feel bad about eating other animals as well? And, I started looking online at information, and it just made me uncomfortable with the whole idea of eating animals. So, I stopped. I gradually stopped buying it. Then I stopped having it when I went out, was trying more vegetarian options. And then one day I realized a few weeks had gone by and I hadn't eaten any meat. And I thought, well, just keep on going. It's not a case of feeling I can't. It's more of not wanting to, So it's a choice. And I think a lot of vegetarian and people who are vegan as well, it's a choice that you make. It's not, you don't stop eating meat or become vegetarian because you don't like meat. I mean, anyone that knows me, that's been out with me, knows that there's nothing I liked more than going to an Argentinian and having a parrillada and, that kind of thing. But you end up seeing stuff that you don't like and you think, well, you're not going to change the world, but at least you can, the only thing that you can do is not contribute to that cycle and make a personal decision to eat different things.
Many people obviously, opt into vegetarianism inspired by their faith, by their beliefs, or other influences. One of them being, well, it's very trendy at the minute, healthy living. What are the health benefits that you've noticed after opting out of eating meat?
What I would say is that meals are lighter. For example, let's say you go for an Indian and you have chicken korma or whatever, and it tends to be, quite a heavy meal. But if you have the vegetarian option, it's a much lighter meal. In terms of health benefits, I think you can have a balanced diet, whether you're an omnivore, or whether you're vegetarian, or whether you're vegan, as long as you make the right choices.
Can you overindulge in eating vegetarian foods as well in the right way? In the same way as you can with your meats?
When it comes to sweets, yes. Being vegetarian or vegan doesn't mean that you're immediately going to be, healthy or thin, or anything like that, because it's about balance, I guess.
Yeah, and you've just mentioned vegan. Obviously, there is a distinction between a vegetarian and a vegan. Some people have misconceptions as well.
Yeah.
Vegans, they don't eat any sort of product derived from animals. Is that something that many vegetarians, actually progress onto?
I think many people do. At the moment, I'm vegetarian. Vegetarians still have dairy, still have eggs. I think a lot of vegetarians do progress to veganism, and it's something that, I'll never say never. Veganism is a very positive thing. It's not just the ethical cost of having animals in agriculture. There's also the environmental cost of it. So a lot of people who eat more of a plant-based diet, they will also have the environmental implications of it. in mind when making the choice to be vegetarian or vegan. It takes much less land and resources and water to produce 1 kilogram of plant-based protein than animal protein. So when you look at how the environment is going, it makes much more sense to have a lot more plant-based foods in your diet rather than the traditional meat.
So what advice would you have for anyone wanting to transition into vegetarianism, veganism? It's not something you yourself did overnight, obviously doing something abruptly from one day to the next.
I'd say take part in things like Meat-Free Mondays, for example. You can find there's a lot of information online on social media. Every Monday there's videos that get shared, and just having 1 day a week to start off with, where you don't have any meat. You make a conscious effort to have a vegetarian meal, and then once you're happy with that, try having it more times a week. Also, when you go out, if you see a vegetarian option that looks good, then try that instead of what you would normally have. And also try meat-free products like corn that they sell in supermarkets. There's corn, there's tofu, there's seitan. I mean, there's many different sources of protein. Have more pulses and legumes. And just try different things. Be a little bit more adventurous, I'd say, and you might like it.
There is a bit of a misconception. I mean, Spanish cuisine has a meat as a centerpiece.
Yes.
Gibraltarians love Spanish cuisine, and traditionally we've had a bit of a love affair with meat, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, you interestingly point out that many of our staple dishes don't necessarily have meat as a primary ingredient.
Yeah, I mean, torta serga, that's vegetarian. Calentita, that's actually vegan.
Yeah.
Mineta doesn't have any meat. Even dishes like rotto, you can replace the meat with corn and flavor it in a certain way to still have that sort of meaty taste. Even puchero, which you think, well, you just put your bones and pieces of meat in there, but you can recreate the taste without necessarily having the meat and all the fats. Making a few small adjustments, you can continue having lenteja, potaje, and the kind of foods that we've always used
Gibraltarian staples. Yeah,
exactly.
I sit alone on my rather uncomfortable bed in Halls. I'm hungry and stressed, which makes me hungrier than I normally would be. I let out a deep and overdramatic sigh because I know exactly what I'm craving. It's impossible. You're over 1,000 miles away and I just can't fly you over to feed me. Abuela, mama, la reina de mi vida. Your talent is beyond a YouTube tutorial and I am merely a 21-year-old baby who has been spoilt by your beautiful food. All I want is your hugs and an infinite supply of your minestra. Is that really too much to ask? How about a slightly runny piece of torta patata or even just the semi-fried skin of a calavecin relleno? Don't get me wrong, I've tried to replicate your magic, but you are irreplaceable. Your kind eyes and soft touch are what made my youth so simple. Drooling, I find myself in a place of sweet memories. It's 4 o'clock and it's time for tea. Your roquita frita surround my chubby Mediterranean body. These lumps and bumps were created solely by your love and a little too many servings of albondigas. But these are the things that keep me going. Your garlic-smelling hands and extra soft skin, your wobbly calentita and sewing tin, your dense torta serga and silver perm, your chicken sopper's magical ability to kill my germs. These recipes are more than just tradition, and your plates are more than just food. You slaved in that kitchen for years to make me smile, and for that, I cannot thank you enough. You were golden, brilliant, and kind. Mama, I will love you forever.
the scenes, and we've got Nicola here, who's got this stall for Gibraltarian food, El Puesto Llanito. What's on offer, Nicola?
Well, today we've got some callos, we've got some pulled pork rolls, a special that we've done with quinoa. It's a muffin with, it's gluten-free, very healthy option.
Okay.
Obviously not compared to the callos. Then we've got some cold gazpacho, and we also have some cordon bleus, as we call it here in Gibraltar.
And what has been the most popular so far? What do you think is...
Well, the callos
Even-
are almost all gone. We're down to the last tray of pulled pork as well.
Wow.
And we've only been here for 3 hours. So
And callos at this time of night still being a bestseller, yeah?
We've even had some takeaways as well.
Wow.
People for tomorrow.
And Nicola, is this something that you do for Calentita, or do you run a business?
Well, I've just started running my own business since January. We're down at Marina Bay, Yummy Tummies, and we offer this. Callos is a special, so we have it every now and then, but we do have our quinoa muffins every day, our pockets, the cheese and ham pockets. So yeah,
And
local food available.
So you're actually offering local foods now on a daily basis as well, yeah?
Yeah.
And local foods adapting to the changes, and now you've got quinoa, which is very popular.
Definitely.
Yeah?
It's very healthy. We do our own quinoa salads as well, which is very popular. We serve them with some chicken tikka as well. And the muffins has been a really, really good invention. Because I don't think anyone else in Gibraltar sells it. So.
Nicola, and on a day-to-day basis, now that you've got a business, what do you see as a bestseller in terms of Gibraltarian food?
Torta patata.
Yeah, always a bestseller, yeah?
And breaded chicken is one of our best sellers.
And how do people like that torta patata? We've just witnessed the competition up there.
Well, ours, the best one is the campera, which has the peppers, onions, and the chorizo. That's one of our best sellers.
Fantastic, brilliant. Thank you, Nicola.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, we had three products at the beginning of the night.
Okay.
Spring rolls.
Yeah.
Vegetable spring rolls. We had the vegetable pad thai, and we had the chicken curry.
Yeah.
Only those three items.
Yeah.
The spring rolls have gone, so they went quite quickly, and there was a bucket of them, and they all went really quickly. I think it's because they're so easy and crunchy and nice to eat,
Yeah.
so they just flew out. Now the pad thai is flying out, second favourite, and the curry is going at a steady pace. So.
Okay. And is this the first year you guys participate in Calentita?
No, they did it last year. The girls did it last year, and it was so successful.
So repeat customers,
They wanted to come again, yes.
Yeah. And you guys enjoying the experience of Calentita? I can imagine it's a lot of hard work, yeah? You find locally this type of food is very popular?
Yes.
Yeah? How long have you been in Gibraltar yourself?
For me, it's 2 years, and then one is 20 years already.
My wife's
And then the rest is 3 years or 4 years.
So you've all been here a while. And
street food in Thailand is very, very big business.
Okay.
There's the roads in Bangkok are lined pretty
With street
much
vendors.
with little trolleys and stuff.
Okay.
And this is the kind of food that they make, because obviously all you need is a ring.
Yeah.
And some stock, so you fry it off very quickly and serve it to people passing by, and it's big,
quick
big
and
thing.
easy, and
and it's huge in Thailand.
cheap, quick and easy.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about that. Tell us about street life in Thailand, because I believe you've been doing that over there, yeah?
Yes, I mean, if you go to, you're gonna see the pad thai on the street food. That one, you're gonna love it. They cook the fresh food for you, everything fresh, like we do. That everyone know pad thai all the world now.
Okay, yeah. Interesting, that's interesting.
We like to cook. We want customer to eat and then happy, smiling to us, tell us that the food is good.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that one. We are happy.
Thank you, mate.
That's all.
Cheers. So my first taste of Thai food, I'll admit, I've never tried it before, and I've just done the story of this being a typical street food over there. Let's see. Very spicy. It's very spicy, very, very spicy. Very, very, very spicy. Nice, but very, very, very spicy.
Healthy we serve here because we use vegetables, fresh chicken, fresh pork, and we do it with love in labor. Doing that to serve the people, to let the people know our culture, the Philippine culture.
Yeah, the Philippine culture obviously being very renowned for happy people, smile. How are the people of Gibraltar taking to Filipino food?
Oh yes, they love Filipinos.
Yeah?
I think.
Yeah, I can see quite a crowd lining up. Yeah,
line up.
Has it been like that
for
some nights?
Hours and hours, and that we almost ran out of food to serve. But we are very happy.
Yeah.
Really, this is our third year.
Third
and
year
we
here.
are very contented.
So for you, obviously, this is being an opportunity to showcase your culture, bring food to the people. You've all got different day jobs. You're all within the community, and you all come together specifically on this day to share your culture with the rest. Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And is there a large Filipino community in Gibraltar?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yes. All working.
From the time I moved here, I've met so many Filipinos since then.
How long have you been in Gibraltar?
I've been here 10 years.
10 years. And yourself, madam?
I've been here 30 years.
30 years.
36 years.
36 years.
45 years even.
Wow. Well, I was about to ask, because was it in the 60s when a Filipino contingent arrived in Gibraltar first?
I'm the first one Filipino come here.
And you're the first Filipino to arrive here, yeah? Brilliant. So Calentita actually bringing your community together precisely on this day, yeah?
Right.
That's awesome. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Can we try some of your lovely food?
Yeah, please
Yeah?
do. Hello, girls.
And this
Oh my
is?
God. Pork barbecue.
Barbecue pork, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, give it a shot, yeah?
Hot. Oh, careful. How's that? Juicy.
Very juicy.
Perfect. And drinks.
Very nice. Mighty hot in here, eh? So the Hungarian stall, quite a few Hungarians in Gibraltar. What food are you offering us tonight?
Offering a special sweet called chimney cake. It's made on the charcoal barbecue, and we do it with different flavors: sunflower seeds, almonds, roast nuts, chocolate, sprinkles. Well, anything you can imagine could be used.
And this is a sweet. This is.
It is yes, it's a sweet pastry. It's a traditional. We use it during Christmas fairs, weddings, special occasions.
So this is an event food.
Yes, exactly.
An event food, yeah.
Suiting Calentita, exactly.
And how are you finding? How are the people taking to the food that you're offering?
There's a lot of interest. As you can see, the queue over there.
Quite a crowd, yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to serve everybody
Keep up,
else.
yeah.
We're trying to keep up with the crowd, but it's difficult a little bit, yeah.
And can people find this type of food daily in Gibraltar, or is this something that you're just doing for Calentita?
Just for Calentita at the moment, yes. And we're really glad that people like it. So basically we have a special dough. Can't tell you the recipe, but then we put it on a cube-shaped wood chunk, and then we put it over the charcoal fire. Put sugar coating, so it gets caramelized, and then when it's hot and sticky, you can get any coating. It takes about 6 minutes to make one. But we're making 6, 7 at the time. And it's a traditional way to do it.
Go ahead, can you show us?
Yeah, of course, yeah, sure.
So Tommy, here we are in front of the craft beer stall. So we've been manning with a few of your friends. Passion of beer has brought you all together, yeah?
Yeah. It's been something that we've been working on for a good few years, and we talked about it many times, and we decided to go for it just to share our passion, really.
And is this the first time you're present at Calentita?
Actually, it's our third time round.
Yeah, third time round.
Yeah, it's surprising how different every year. The crowds are different, the demand for the different types of beer are different, so every time we're learning a lot from the beers that we're selling and the people that are coming to buy our beers, yes.
And how does Gibraltar take to beer? I mean, at the minute there's a bit of a competition with wine, which seems to have taken over.
That's true, but I think that Gibraltar, I mean, the craft beer scene is exploding worldwide in a tremendous way. And we're just trying to bring that to Gibraltar in a certain way, because people here are only used to the run-of-the-mill lager mass production beer, so We just want to give the people an opportunity to taste something different, which is low production but very high quality.
And how has it gone tonight? Have you had a good response?
We've had a great response. This is actually the first time I've stepped out of the tent to speak to you guys. We haven't stopped since 7 o'clock. It's been very busy, so we're really chuffed. And the feedback has been great. So.
Brilliant. And tell us a bit about this beer in particular. I believe they all come, you're offering 3 varieties and they all come from the same brewery.
We were offering previously 5 varieties from the same brewer. It's a small brewer in Jerez. It's called Destraperlo. And we went, myself and Stuart, my colleague, we went over to the brewery itself a few months ago, and we talked to the master brewers, and we said that we really liked their beer. We tried them all, and we're really fond of their product, so we decided to order and import a really big load. And the last couple of events that we've had have been with their beer, and obviously Calentita as well today.
And we've eaten our way through the entire Calentita. I think we've tried every single stall, we've tried every single food item available, and we've had a blast. Like everyone who's attended tonight, Calentita, another success. People have had good food, a good time, good music, good company, and Calentita organisers, no doubt, hoping people take away the message they've been trying to emphasise this year, and that is one of responsible eating. One which will allow us to contribute to the wider care of our planet while still allowing us to fill our bellies.